Brews and Banner Podcast. What up? Welcome to Brews and Banner Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I got water, I got juice or whatever. It's like, y'all need twin legs? Matter of fact, I do.
To everybody is, does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world, politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
We can finally hear the music. In the horn.
That sample is crazy.
It's real, man.
Yeah, that's dope.
That just make you feel like old
What up? Welcome to Brews and Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rocket and the brew. That'd be the fuel. And I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, the legendary Brew Crew. What's going on, fellas?
What up?
What is going on, everyone?
Belgium, Yoda, Rob.
Yeah. This is episode 106 of Brews and Banter Podcast. And we have none other than Smittox Brewing Company, Kuumba Smith. He is here today to talk about all things Smittox. So welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Appreciate it, fellas. Appreciate it.
Coming on. Appreciate you,
man.
Thank you.
All
Thanks
things
for having me.
Smittox.
All things Smittox. Yeah.
The extra high pitch at the end of it.
That's how you
That's how
tell you
Rob
I'm
talks.
excited
Puberty.
about it.
Yeah. I like it.
All things puberty.
Yeah, puberty. Oh shit.
Come on now, I got the deepest voice on this program. All things Smittox. Y'all like that better? You want smooth and sexy? Y'all want the smooth and
Very
sexy
white
version
I
of
don't
it?
know. I don't know. I don't want either one. Just talking
Yeah,
about
let's not do the smoothest section.
I didn't know this was a Quiet Storm podcast.
That is my regular voice.
Nope.
This
Nope.
is
That,
my regular voice.
nope.
I do it. I go up a level for people comfortability, but this is how I really talk.
Okay.
That's funny because that's making me uncomfortable.
Right. That is very. I'm very uncomfortable.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. That's why I
Thank you for
talk like
making.
this.
Thank you for making me comfortable.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
Yeah, I
here for the
appreciate
public. I'm here for the public. I'm here to do what I do.
The people's voice. The people's voice.
Not to be confused with public announcement.
Absolutely.
Nor Kelly.
I know what you. I see what you did there.
I knew it was coming. Robert.
That Robert Union. That Robert Union always shows up.
Oh, man.
I've already told you he was voted out unanimously from the union. And it's
Mess your whole government name up. Damn.
Yo, can you be voted out from a name union and let
I
if
think
you don't
so.
change your name?
I think so.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
even if you don't change your name.
Yeah, because he
Okay.
you know him. You don't know him more. What you know him more by? Robert Kelly or
R.
R. Kelly? See, he dropped
R.
R.
Drop the
He's still under
whole OBERT. Yes.
it. Yeah, right.
He no
What do you do
longer
with the
Brown.
Albert? What do you do with the
Come on,
Albert?
Robert,
He
huh?
just-
The Albert, what did he do with the Albert?
Fired him, man.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
Well, I know
Yeah.
Rob G took it out. Rob G took it away from him. He's like, he don't got the Albert no more. He just got the R.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's just Meek Mills and Robert Patterson and me and other Roberts out there. I mean, there's
Three Roberts?
other Roberts out there.
Oh, okay.
There's other Roberts out there, but those are the only ones I can think on top of my head. Shout out
There it is.
shout out to Batman.
There it is.
All right. I digress. We are here to talk to Kuumba about Smittox Brewing Company, and because of that, we are drinking 2 beers from. So I guess what are we drinking today, fellas?
This is the part where our guest introduces the beers that they are featured on the podcast today.
I don't know which one should we have first, I guess.
Well, I'm drinking the maple glazed.
Yeah, I opened the maple glaze
Yeah.
because when I was getting asked what y'all drinking, the fucking intro popped on. So
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with the maple glaze then.
Maple
All right.
glaze.
All right, word. So this one, I usually make this brown ale usually around like Thanksgiving. Kind of started a little late last year, so it wasn't really ready until like December. So it's really just a brown ale recipe, nothing fancy with it, no thrills, no frills. But in this case, what I usually do like sweet potato, right? So I didn't, I went to the store and I was like, you know what, I think I'm missing something, and I forgot the damn sweet potato. So, but what I did have at home, I did have some pecans, I did have some maple syrup. So I went ahead and maple glazed the pecans, and then I added that to the beer once it was done. And then I added just a little bit of maple to the keg to kind of bring out that sweetness and some cinnamon. So it's really simple combination. Just makes you think about Thanksgiving dessert, pecan pie and stuff like that. So
yeah.
So it's probably appreciate it, man. It's about 6, I think it's 6'5" or 6'6", somewhere around
6.1. 6.1.
Yep.
Yes, 6.1. So so I tried to keep it drinkable. Didn't want to make anything too heavy. Plug, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean that's
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's real sweet, man. I wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah.
I taste when you talk sweet potatoes and reading the description of the pecan, I think that either could for a pie Thanksgiving, you taste those flavors, you taste the cinnamon, you taste the syrup, and hey, you now have given us a beer to drink during winter and Thanksgiving. I'm gonna need this.
Yo,
ask me another.
So Smitty, was this how big of a difference was the not having the sweet potatoes in it? Because I know
I mean, quite frankly, I think the sweet potatoes are really more of like essence. It's really to say I put it in there. It's a very hard ingredient to taste in the beer, because there's been a lot of beers that I've tasted that's been made with it, and unfortunately it's very faint. But it's more or less to say, hey, this is kind of what I wanted to kind of do. I wanted to make something around like Thanksgiving, fall, autumn. And I think that's like the perfect, thing to use, So this one, the pecans, those, you definitely have to kind of, you got to roast them to kind of bring out the flavor a little bit. Okay. And I just added a touch of extract to like the end to help bring out that flavor, that smell. So without going through like 3 or 4 pounds of pecans for a 5-gallon batch, which those things aren't cheap.
They're not cheap at all.
Absolutely.
Right. So so I really like to kind of use the real ingredient, and then I'll just add a little touch of extract towards the end to kind of bring out those notes.
Okay. Cool.
I have to agree with you. Like you said, when you were talking about the essence of sweet potatoes, all of us, I think, here eat sweet potatoes, but when you boil and you make sweet potatoes, you're doing a lot of adding to like really bring out the flavor even of a sweet potato, from your vanilla extract to your butter, your sugar, and you're doing a lot of extra.
I eat my sweet potatoes like apples, bro. I eat my sweet potatoes like apples.
You eat them like an animal. You eat your apples like an animal.
That's called a butt naked. That's called a butt naked.
I need all that flavor.
That dirty brown husk and everything, huh? Just
that sounds disgusting.
That's where the nutrition is in that.
Put the cinnamon and sugar in the oven in the butter.
I'll meet him in the ER next Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
But you know what I was thinking about though? We had a beer. I can't remember where it was from, but we had a beer that did have the sweet potato taste to it, and it was kind of like, it wasn't that I didn't hate it, but it wasn't that great, because it tastes like, how you buy canned sweet potatoes and that juice be in there. It tastes just like that juice.
Preservative
sweet
syrup,
potato juice.
that clear liquid.
That's that.
Like,
it
wasn't that great. It's not until they add like some nutmeg
cinnamon,
or some cinnamon, and stuff into it before it's getting.
So really, and then what really helps brings out the flavor instead of like when we do our yams and pies, we don't boil them, we bake them. You know what I'm saying? So that way the flavors and the sugars don't go out and into the water.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Somebody wanted to know, was it a Guinness? Brandy wanted to know, was it a Guinness beer that you were drinking?
It wasn't a Guinness.
Because of the color?
No.
I think she was asking
the beer that she was talking about.
I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't no Guinness. It wasn't no Guinness on here.
Guinness don't make a sweet potato beer, do they?
Well, I remember, I know what Brandy is talking about though, because remember Black Beer Geek was doing a collaboration with Guinness, I think with a sweet potato mash. Wasn't she when we had her on? She was talking about it.
You might be
right. That's why she probably asked.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Or Brandy's just nosy as hell.
Welcome, Brandy, for your nosy.
She is the president. She is the president of the petty crew. Yo, there she go.
She told you.
The president
for the petty crew.
She's the president.
Yes, we stealing barrels and Leafs fans. Remember, follow us. We appreciate it.
They could be both, Devin. They could be both.
I said we stealing. I'm being petty. Petty going.
You know what you're saying.
Petty going. Keep petty going.
All right. So we have this other beer as well, the Boxcar Session, right?
All right. So
there we go.
Yeah. So this one, I use a different yeast in this one. So I use a different yeast. So it didn't really come out the way that I wanted to. It didn't really drop it as much. So it's not as crisp as a normal Kolsch is. And also, canning these beers at home, the paler beers are a lot more susceptible for oxidation. So I think these ones didn't didn't hold up as well. So it's probably not going to be as crisp as it should be. Probably a little more malty. So that's why it's really a recipe that I've been working on, and so just it's just all beers aren't going to be successful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but this one I use Saphir hops in this one, so that's why if you get the Boxcar Session reference. For the rapper, Saphir, Boxcar Sessions,
nice.
Dope album.
Nice.
My boy Aaron, when I was talking about using the hops, and shout out to my boy Aaron, he was like, it's like, hey, you using Saphir hops, Saphir the rapper, Boxcar Session. I was like, ooh, I gotta steal it. So So if you notice on like the side of the can, there's a quote from like his first album.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
see.
Right there, right.
Yeah.
But so you saying that this didn't come out like you wanted it to come out?
Yeah. So I wanted it to come out more dry, more crisp. So it has the body of more like a pale ale. So it's a little malty. So I don't know if that's the yeast I use or if I didn't pitch enough yeast. I mean, it's still a good beer, but it's not to style. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I was like, it tastes good. What you miss on?
Yeah. I think either I like mash too high or the yeast didn't drop it. Enough. So usually the yeast eat the sugar, which kind of dries out the beer. And I think I just didn't pitch enough yeast to kind of bring it down to like where it's dry and crisp. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. I like it though. It still tastes good.
Yeah, it does fall more like pale ale than a Kolsch. Right.
So maybe you shouldn't have named it a Kolsch. Maybe you should have just said it was
pale ale. This is pale ale.
I mean,
you lied. Don't nobody know until it come out.
I mean, I had like already started pushing it as like a Kolsch, and I like had the name and the yeast and everything like that. So
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
oh, my bad. Wait.
yeah. So you know, I'm like not ashamed to say, hey, you know, this beer needs work, you know, because you know, if like I was arrogant, I'd be like, man, y'all taste buds suck, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the only reason you said it needs work is because it tastes more like a pale ale instead of a kosher.
Right. So
yeah,
you
send
know,
us the next batch. I want to taste the difference because this, like I said, this is good, but if you messed up, I want to taste the right way.
So it's like, you know, brewers are really hard on like themselves when they make a beer that, you know, what you're thinking, and then from what it comes out, and if it's not to your liking, you want to dump it. You know, it's like, you know, do I really want to drink 5 gallons of this? But it's just like, all right, let me share it, let me get the feedback and stuff like that. Yeah.
I will say that even had you know, I know you kind of premature already let us know that, you know, hey, this may not be, you know, to my liking or to up to par, to up to snuff like I like it. I would like to taste, you know, a fresh batch. I don't think it's like off-putting to a point where like, oh, I wouldn't drink this can. But I can't say I get excited about it. So for me, in rating the beer, I'd have just one. I wouldn't keep it in the cooler, but I would just have just one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty that you're saying that this ain't what you still put it out there, even though like you really wanted to dump it, but you wanted the feedback just to see like maybe it is something that I could keep making and call it a pale ale, or make it the way that you wanted it to be, and for the next batch. So yeah, it still tastes good to me. So
yeah,
so now you got two. Now you got two.
And that's why I thought you got two different. Keep the recipe for this one because you got two different recipes now. Exactly. And look, I'm still new to the beer thing, so I can't tell the difference between a kosher and pale ale. I'm not a whatever. But yeah,
you know, you're not a sommelier of beer.
No, I was going to say Cicerone, but I couldn't think. I kept thinking sommelier. I was like, it's not sommelier. It's Cicerone. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, but he kind of quickly glazed with the fact that he over there canning at home. Like, who's canning at home?
Yeah, when he said he went to the grocery store to buy the yams and the pecans, I got that, and he looked in the closet and got the maple syrup. I was like, oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
got a factory at his house. He got a whole factory there.
Yeah, so you know, so basically, you know, when you start home brewing, especially now, we're seeing the evolution of it, where it used to be so archaic. You know what I'm saying? Now everything is built around smaller, more efficient. Right. So now, you know, we used to bottle, and so bottles, you know, they're like heavy. You know, you really can't take them everywhere. So companies saw the void. You know, they're like, hey, what if we can make a home canning machine? And so, you know, you can buy them anywhere from $400 to like $2,000. You know, so they all get the job done. It's just how much work do you want to do? And so, but when you're canning from home, you know, beers, you know, our systems aren't that great to purge all the oxygen like you can do when you're canning at like a brewery. So canning like darker beers, or you usually don't have that issue because those can take oxygen a little better than like paler beers. And so there's been times where I've canned a nice hazy, I canned a pale ale, saison, anything light, and they're either great or they turn really, really quick. And so just trying to get your system to where you can purge all that oxygen out, it can be tough. So that's why it's kind of like shipping certain beers and sharing certain beers. It's like, hey, if you come to the house and like have this, it's great. Now when it travels 3 or 4 days and in the heat, it gets shaken around,
it loses its luster.
Right. So it's just like, hey, you know, when I pour it at like home, it's like, look how bright it is. It's vibrant. And when you pour it, it's just like, do I really want to claim that beer, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Now we talked about these two beers, which are I mean, I like them. I mean,
they're phenomenal. They're good beers.
Even if it was a misstep. I guess you would call it. I don't know. But still,
if you wouldn't have said it was a misstep, we wouldn't have known. I don't think we would have known.
No.
Well, but I don't want to put out that false.
Oh yeah, I appreciate the honesty.
Perception, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm just letting you know how good the beer is that good to me that if you wouldn't have said you made a mistake, I wouldn't have known.
It's very presentable.
Yeah.
Very
and plus, we're not that honest, so we don't expect other people to come on and
grimy beer podcast.
Very honest.
That's 1/4 of the podcast.
Listen to the old modest Rob. I'm very honest.
Very honest.
Honest Rob.
Mr. Reserve.
My deep voice.
I shall not tell a lie.
But like I said, I appreciate the fact that you told us that it wasn't your best batch. But that's still like if you wouldn't have said it, I don't think any of us would have known that. It may be Rob, he's like that, but none of us would have known that it's not the way you wanted it to be, for sure.
Gotcha. Cool.
What you think Rob is going to drink and say? This is not a Coke.
right. Rob, no.
This is peasant beer.
Rob, no.
Peasant beer.
Rob, no. I think he was going
beneath me. This is beneath me.
Yes,
exactly.
I think this is pale ale here. What's on the label?
I don't know if I would have said it, but before, because he already had a preempted it that it tastes more pale ale than Kolsch. I mean, I like Kolsch is like one of my favorite styles, but
right.
It doesn't matter in terms of that part. But we talked enough about the beer piece of it. I mean, for those who did not know, we did speak to Smitty back in 2019 at the Fresh Fest 2019.
Right.
So that's where we first learned about Smittox Brewing Company. So you can go back and listen to that. But he's going to give us more.
What episode was that? Anybody know?
I'll let you know.
I think it just Fresh Fest. It just says Fresh Fest Part 1.
Right.
It was in August of 2019.
Yep. Yeah, Fresh Part 1. You can definitely go and check that out. But we have him back here to tell us what has been going on since then and what he has planned for the future. So, Smitty, it's all you.
Yeah, let us know.
Man. Appreciate it. So, I mean, since Fresh Fest, I've really just been working on getting my plan, straight. So, I think that's, in the beginning, that's probably the most important thing. The biggest hurdle is getting your plan down, because you can have all these visions, you can have all these dreams, but until you put it on paper, that's really all it is. It's just visions and dreams. So once you start to really plan stuff out, you start writing stuff down. It's like, does this make sense? Is this doable? And so you start to run the numbers. And as you're going through the planning software, the planning software just sees units by price, by volume, blah, blah, blah. And it gives you a dollar amount. And I was like, oh, snaps. I can do this. And so that's when I started to work with a business counselor, and he really took the plan. He kind of went through it. He's like, this looks good. This looks good. Take this out. This sucks. Take this out. Add this. And so once he really started helping me fine tune the plan and helping me fine tune the numbers, because he was like, look, your plan looks good, but your numbers are terrible. So if you go show this to a bank's going to see how are you steady profits throughout the next 2 or 3 years. This just does not look feasible. So he started really helping me gauge as far as forecasting and stuff like that. And he's like, look, as long as you're able to pay all your expenses and bills, and you're coming out, in the black and green, that's what banks really want to see. They don't want to see you clearing, $100,000 every single month, because that's not true, So that's when my heart sunk a little bit. But he was like, look, don't worry about this piece. You just worry about if you able to cover your expenses and stuff like that. So once we got the plan knocked down, it was kind of all right, we were in the process to go talk to some banks and stuff. So I was like, well, look, let me try to do this Kickstarter first, right? So I was like, let me see if people say, hey, if you need something, I'm here for you. So all right, so I took that to heart. I'm like, all right, let me do this Kickstarter. Boom, here it is. You guys talk. I'm not asking you to put up your life savings, but if you really want to back this project, here's your chance. Mm-hmm. So it kind of jumped out in the beginning, then it kind of stalled a little bit, but I think it also had to do with the timing of it. It was around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. So, so it didn't hit goal. So that didn't really, I was like, all right, what can I do better? What can I do to get people back on board? So that was when I decided to go directly on my site. So I'm like, all right, do I want to do Kickstarter again? Because they had just wrote a piece about me in like the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, do I want to do Kickstarter again? Let's just say I do hit my goal. I was asking for like, let's just say 40,000. It's like, if I do hit that goal, they were going to take like $6-7 out in fees.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, let me think about this. Do I want
So your goal is really 47,000.
Right. So do I really want to go back to this avenue? You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, but if I do it on my site, the little credit card services are like 2-3%, but the rest goes directly to the company. And and I was like, well, what if I don't hit goal? And that's a second time that I didn't hit goal. It's like, well, at least, and if you don't hit goal, you don't get anything.
Right.
So
that's how Kickstarter works.
Right. It's all or nothing. So you can be halfway and you're so it's like, hey, at least I made something. It's
right.
Like, nah, bro, you didn't make nothing.
Right. Yeah. That half of 40,000, 20,000 could help. But if you don't make any of it, oh man, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So really, that was when I took all the same packages and I was just like, look, let me put this on my site, and I'll like drop the price a little bit for like a short period of time, and let those people who donated the first time have first dibs at it. And so so right now I'm probably around like 15 grand, which is better than what I was doing. And I still have, so I mean, I can run this as long as I want to, but I don't want to do that. I want to kind of set a period of time, because the people who pledged back in December or January, I've got to get them their stuff. So it's kind of like, but at least this gives me more of a chance to actually, earn something towards the business, and and so versus not getting anything, at least something is better than like nothing. And so that's like where I'm at now as far as the crowdfunding. They can go to my site, www.smittoxbrewing.com. I have everything there as far as like how the company got started, the crowdfunding. I've got a shop right now. I don't really have a lot of merch on there now. I've got some sweatshirts and some shirts, because I really wanted to focus on the crowdfunding. And so that's where the business is at right now. As far as the next steps, working on my management team to try to bring in some folks who have some industry experience. And then from there, go back to my business counselor to try to seek funding. So I have a couple of little small leads about possible spots. Nothing has been really discussed so far, but some people have shown interest. So at least that's something, you know what I'm saying?
Now, somebody did. Brandon did have a question. Not sure if I missed it, but can you ship to Chicago? I don't know. Can you ship beer to anything?
Let me tell you how the craft beer rules work in Texas. Breweries cannot ship directly, period. When I open, if somebody wants me to ship the next city over, I can't even do that, so so basically Texas, you have to give your beer to a distributor who has the license to ship, and then they can ship it. Unfortunately, you have to find somebody here who can get their hands on it, and then they'll ship it. I mean, if you know somebody in Texas, I'll give them the beer, until I get started, and then they can ship it to you. But that's just the way.
So you can't ship the beer to us, but you can give it to your neighbor, and they can ship the beer to us.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, you ain't got to answer that question.
Right, you don't have to answer it, I guess. No.
You already know,
right? The beer fans might be on the.
That's what we. That's a Texas. That's like a Texas state thing.
Well, no, I mean Delaware like that a little
anywhere,
bit.
Really, in some places that you're able to ship beer from.
I mean, technically, you have to be licensed to ship. alcohol products.
Gotcha.
Now, how people get beer in different states, I don't know how that happens, but it does, but it does happen. So
connections.
right. So
It does happen.
I mean
Rod,
that's
Rod Woodward. I'm in
sorry.
Texas, he says.
Yeah, Rod.
So Rod, you can grab some beer
What up, Rod?
Brandy.
Good afternoon to you, Rod. Help Brandy out.
He said he shipped it to her. He got her.
Right.
Yeah, you got
I
it.
don't know if you can see that comment. Let me put it up there.
We're making connections.
What up, Rod?
Texas to Chicago.
So Smitty, I had a question because I've seen we've seen for example the short order porter. You've had that on draft at other locations or not at a location. What is that partnership like, and is that somewhat like a sort of like a consignment agreement? Like what allows you to be able to basically post up and say, look, I'm doing my beer at this particular spot?
Yeah, so the way that worked was basically Martin House brewed the beer. So it was my recipe, but it was their beer because they were the ones licensed to brew it, licensed to distribute it. So really when I worked with them was because I won this homebrew competition, and so the beer won, and they were like, all right, we want to bring you in. We want to bring everybody in who placed, first place through 10th place, and let you guys serve your beer on site. TABC didn't like that idea, and they shut that down. So Martin House was like, look, we want to put this beer out into market. And I was like, it's a no-brainer. I would have loved to have been paid for the beer itself, but however, I know the way the rules work here in Texas. It's just like, look, this is going to help me out because this is basically free marketing, free press, and I didn't have to spend a dime in that beer. So they made, I think, 60 barrels, and they were, I think the first year they made 30 barrels, I think.
Okay.
But you look at on a homebrew scale, you're like, that's a lot of beer. But you think about it going out throughout the entire state of Texas, it's like that's not a lot of beer. So, but for them to be able to allow me to get my name out there for free, and I didn't have to pay a marketing firm to help spread my name. This was all them, and so then they put the beer out again the following year. And they doubled the batch, and so that meant that a lot of those cities that didn't really get it, they had the chance to get it. And so by putting more cans out into the market, that just helps spread the branding. So you gotta think about it that way. It's just like, all right, would you love to be compensated on sales of the beer? Most definitely. But you look at the way the breweries have to do their taxes. It's like, how are they going to
justify that?
So so it's
word of
like,
mouth is equally good in those cases. So
I mean, and coming from a home brewer, I was like, shit, that's exciting that I got people in California with East Coast, Midwest drinking a beer with like my face on it, and not just my face, but that's actually my recipe. And so they didn't do the beer last year, which I mean, I didn't expect them to do it every single year,
right?
But they were really helpful as far as like, hey, look, man, unfortunately we're not doing it this year, but if you want to. If you want to contribute to Smitty's crowdfunding, go to his page,
go to this site,
and then make sure he's able to put this beer out by
supporting his cause, supporting his project, supporting his goal.
Right. So I mean, that brewery is always gonna have a special place because they really helped me get my name out there. So
Awesome.
Now, I don't know if you answered this question. I don't know if you answered, what part of Texas are you in?
I'm right now I'm in Allen. So Dallas is the city about 15 minutes south.
Okay.
So so like we have a
Dallas, Fort
Dallas.
Worth.
You're right, exactly.
And is that like once it's all ready to go, is that where you would be looking to locate the brewery, or would it be a production brewery first, or would it have like a tap room? I guess that would be a question.
No. So my goal is to be have a tap room and then be able to like sell beer from my tap room. I want to be in total hands-on control of what my beer is doing. I don't want my beer sitting on shelves because I don't want to pay for like cooler space. That stuff is real expensive. And when you put beers out on like the shelf, they're sitting out there warm, your beer dies faster. So I want to just self distribute throughout my tap room. I want to have a space where folks can like come, saying
order online, pick up, or drink in the tap room.
Have you already looked at a spot, or is there like a certain spot that you already figured out?
I mean, I really want to stay in like my county. So so like I'm in Collin County, which is just north of Dallas County. So Dallas already has a ton of breweries. Folks are like, come on down to Dallas. We'll take care of you. We'll show you love. I'm like, hey, I appreciate all that, but I live here. I pay my city taxes here.
Right.
I pay my all my tax money goes to Collin County. I'm like, why am I gonna create a
take
brewery?
It somewhere else?
Right.
Sounds like relocation. No, I'm joking.
Nah, man, I'm good, man. So, but the fact of the matter is just that we don't have a lot of breweries in Collin County. So I don't know. I think the rules are slightly more strict than like Dallas, but we have a few. But along where I want to be at, Plano, Allen, we don't have anything on this side, and I'm getting a lot of comments from people, Black people, everybody's saying, hey, there's a large population of brothers up this way who want a close brewery. We don't,
exactly. Want to go outside of our town.
Why we gotta go to Dallas? That's like us wanting to go to. We always gotta go to
Philly. Exactly.
No. Why can't we have something in Wilmington?
Right. So it's like there's a bunch of great breweries in like the Dallas Fort Worth area, but it's like, do I want to drive 40 miles? Does somebody else want to drive 40 miles when they can drive five miles?
Exactly.
Right. And there's a lot of money where I live. I mean,
people are doing well.
Yeah, saying Collin County is probably one of the most affluent counties in the state. So why would I want to basically shit on them and say, I don't want to open up anything around y'all because I want to go be around this crowd, which is already getting crowded.
Right. Yeah, stand alone. Yeah, be unique and stay in your hometown. Yep.
So I know that 2020 was obviously unique for everyone, including us breweries. So what about what about any Fresh Fest, not Fresh Fest, but beer festivals that you maybe had lined up or maybe being asked to participate in that are coming up maybe for 2021 or 2022?
Yeah, man. So
it's still on my mind. It's still on my brain.
So 2020 was just terrible because man, I had lined up so many stuff. I had just built a damn jockey box, right? And I'm like man, I'm gonna kill these festivals. You know what I'm saying? I had merch all lined up, and then it was like, all right, coronavirus is coming. It's just like, I was just like, bro, we're a better country. We're a better nation than this. We can nip this in like the bud. Then all of a sudden, we just saw it just bust out like gangbusters, and it was like there was no way.
Administration just tucking everything under.
That's so funny that you mentioned that. Like I thought that too. Like in last March, I was like, oh man, we'll be good by summertime. We'll be fine. And sure enough, no.
Like because there was SARS, there was.
Right.
All this stuff had happened before, right?
Ebola.
So it was like, all right, man, we can, those are all third world countries, man. They're poor people. We're better than them.
We're a rich nation.
And that just goes to show you, how conceited and big headed we were to not be able to say, all right, let's just do what we need to do to stop this. And so when that hit, it was just like, all right, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And all of a sudden, within weeks, it was like, shit, this is terrible. And then so once we started seeing all the festivals cancel, and I was like, all right, got to do a different way of thinking, different mindset as far as like, how am I going to get my beer out there? And that was when I just started brewing like crazy and just started canning, started passing cans out.
Yeah.
So it was like, I got to keep the name going. I got to do something, and so that really helped out. And but as far as 2021 goes, I mean, I hear Fresh Fest is coming back. Don't know a lot of the deets just yet, but I mean, I would love to do it if this thing is not, if they allow festivals within reason.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, here in Texas, it's just like, people are like having these like bottle shares still, and it's just like
we was packed up in there. I don't know how that's gonna happen again.
Well, because they already canceled Coachella and some other bigger festivals.
So
it should be interesting.
I'm hearing like 2022 is when things might be
all the way back, right? Popping.
Yo, that's my year right there.
Yeah, you see that?
That's my year right
there. People look, you now to get your passports, get them renewed, get them first time, do whatever, because motherfuckers is gonna try to leave fast.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you a question. I know you said you're going for a brick and mortar, but you mentioned something about shelf space in like actual liquor stores and things like that. It's more to they charge you more to have it in a cooler than if you have it on the shelf?
That's my understanding is that that cooler spot is prime territory. So
prime real estate, basically.
So if you go to like let's say your local craft beer spot, well I'm not saying like the mom and pop joints, but your big craft beer spots, Total Wine and stuff.
Right.
You'll I mean, if you go look who's in the cooler.
You're right.
I never when you think when I think about it, I never even pictured, but they are the more
you're right.
Prominent craft brew.
When I walk into my local wine and spirits, you're right. All the craft brew in my area, they're in a room. They're in a room, like pretty much by themselves. But I asked just this past Sunday, I asked the cashier. I said, can I, do you guys have any craft brew, independent brews that are refrigerated? And he said, yeah, we do. But it's this section. And he told me like just walk straight back, and you got about like starting at this aisle over to the right, about 2 glass doors worth.
Yeah.
And that's what he told me.
And that's prime real estate.
That's prime real estate. It was all next to obviously the big.
It was all left hand. It was all left hand brewery. That's all that was in there.
Left hand and arm gang.
But to that end, and I'll say this, and to that point, those 4 packs in the refrigerator that were independent craft brew, they were more expensive because why? They got to increase their profit. You got to increase the amount of it because they're paying more to be in that refrigerator.
Exactly. I never even thought about, like, I knew it cost for
$20 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, but I knew it cost for space, but I didn't know it would cost more for cooler space.
Because I noticed sometimes if you go to like gas stations and stuff, if you get a hot soda versus a cold soda, it's more expensive.
That's it. The 2 liter, Wawa all off of beer, but Wawa beer, I mean, a Pepsi on the shelf is like $2.09, a 2 liter.
Okay,
it's $2.39.
The same.
20 ounces is like $160.
It's 2. I think it's 2. No, wait, $2.49 for the 2 liter and $2.09 for the little small one.
That's all right. So this is what we're saying to wrap that up, Rob. Is cooler space is more expensive. I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah. Now we have these 2 beers in front of us. Is there something else you're working on right now?
So I did work on this one beer with the local spot over here in Vector, Schwartz beer.
Okay.
And so this one came in about 4.9%, and it was a coffee black lager we did, and we used a local coffee roaster, black owned. So
nice.
they were down for it. They were like, hey, let's help out, somebody else. And so that was one that I did a couple months ago. I did another beer about a month or so ago with another brewery, a kettle sour. That one was just draft only. We only did maybe 3.5 barrels of that one. So that's like sold out. So I'm looking to line up a few more. I want to get stuff, solid before I start putting stuff out there. So that's really just been just like work, trying to get the name out there as much as possible.
Now, do you collaborate with like the local people in the counties that real close to you, or do you spread out all through Texas? Because Texas is huge.
It's huge.
I mean, see, the thing is, people don't realize how big Texas is. Like when I was at Fresh Fest and I heard people were driving through like 5 states in like 4 hours. I was like, damn, y'all, you guys lucky, man.
Right here. That's the East Coast right there for you, baby. That's the East Coast.
So here, man, I can drive from Dallas all the way down to the tip of Texas, and that's like 12-15 hours, man. And this is, well, I mean, maybe not that long, but it's still long, man.
It's a day. It's a day for you.
But the good thing about being in the 3 largest cities, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, and let's just throw in Austin too. You're in that triangle. Houston's 4 hours. San Antonio, depending on traffic, is 5 hours, sometimes 6, 7. Austin is 2.5 to 3 hours. So if anybody down there wants to work, I mean, it's just really just let me know, and then I'll definitely come down and drive. But it's really been mostly around Dallas.
Okay.
All right. Somebody had a question. They said, "What advice would you give to someone planning to open a brewery
Blue
today?"
collar, what up? I mean, just do your homework, man. That's the biggest thing you can do. I mean, without writing it down, without creating a plan, it's just a dream, And so until you write it down and you start talking with, business-minded people, counselors, banks, of the, the rules, the laws, especially when you're dealing with any type of beer, liquor, and wine, everything is going to be more stringent. But you really need to talk to people, lawyers, accountants, but first thing is just do your plan, man, because you can have a great idea, but if you don't have a good plan, you're just going to fail. And so I think that by really taking my time and working with, business counselors, really trying to get the plan lined up and just, and then read books. I'm not a big reader. I'm at all. I mean, I tell everybody, if I can get an, saying book, a tape or something, a podcast. But like you have to be willing to like learn business, because you can have a craft, but if you don't know business, and then go talk to people, go talk to brewery owners. I think that's why I want to work with these breweries. I mean, I love putting the beer out there, but I want to get in their minds. As I was like, how do you run your business? So that's really important, as far as just like, what works, what does not work, what should I look out for, what are some things to not do, what are some things to do. And so that's really been probably the most, the biggest thing for me.
Right. Now I know you talked about the website having like the memberships and things like that for the funding. Like what is the range in terms of people can support, and in terms of like what is the range in that, like if they went to your website, what does that look like?
I mean, you can do anything from like a sticker pack is $15 up to like a package that's like $1,000. So it just depends. how much a person can give. Basically, it's like if like all you can afford to do is buy a sticker pack. I mean, I'm not gonna shoo somebody away because anything helps. So I think the best way to like try the beer is to buy one of the membership packages. Unfortunately, I can't ship, but if you have somebody in Texas who can pick the beer up for you, you can definitely send a proxy. So and so so from there, like if you want to, like right now, I think the difference in like the prices from now and then once this is done, the prices will definitely go down, but I'm trying to raise funds. And so if something seems a little bit more than normal, it's like, understand it's like, I'm trying to raise some funds for a business and trying to get, this business off the ground. And so, so, but there's, but once this is over, shirts are going to be around $20, $25, sweatshirts, hoodies, $30, $45. So.
All right. I guess when you planned it out and envisioned it, did you have like a plan in terms of when you want to see your goal come to fruition? Like exactly, like were you aiming for 2022 or 2023 or?
2022 was the goal, like when I first kicked off the Kickstarter, I was like, all right, if this Kickstarter is successful and if I'm funded, 2022 is when I want to be open. It's still feasible if things line up. Now, if it doesn't go the way I want, it's like you can't rush things. Sometimes you have to push things back. So if 2023 makes sense, then it's going to be 2023. So it's just kind of like now it's just like, now that I've got a good thing going, it's just I really have to find ways to, just get this thing funded, get this thing working. So that's pretty much, it's just full speed ahead now.
Just to give you some of your flowers, I was just reviewing on Untapped a few of our I would say fellow beer drinkers and people that we know that are heavy in the drinking beer is Brandon Montgomery. He posted on the 25th of January that the actual boxcar session it actually earned the Homebrew Goodness Level 2 badge, which is like basically 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 3.5, almost 4, I guess, stars, sunshine. I don't even know what the symbol is. I'm looking at the symbol. I'm like, is that a
4 sunshines?
Oh,
it's 4 sunshines.
That's caps.
Yeah,
caps. See? I'm looking at it. I'm like,
sunshine.
You know what that is? Gears.
What is that? But it makes sense.
There's
So,
nope, there's sunshines from now on. There's sunshines on this podcast.
Right.
That's funny.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
How many sunshines did he get?
Because you
How
shot
many caps did he get? He got
Richie, huh?
he got 3.5.
He got 3.5 He got 3.5 sunshines for out of 5.
He said
for a beer that he don't even like.
Right.
Boom.
We're.
Word,
we're like tough critics, man, and we and like once you start brewing beer and you start understanding the science of beer, you start knowing what a beer should taste like, and anything other than that, it's like I think I failed this beer, but I'm gonna let folks drink it. That happens a lot where I'll brew a beer and it's just like I don't like it, and then I'll share it, and then people like, man, this beer is dope, but it's like I have in my mind that I know what I wanted to make, and this isn't it. And so
I think
you gotta feel like. Go ahead, Yoda.
I think that's just something that creators do. Period. Like anybody that's a creator,
As an artist, creative,
I was about to say, people make music. They be like, "Oh, this is trash," and then they drop it, and everybody's like, "So you're
right."
I'll take that trash.
Yeah, in that same vein, Yoda, I was about to say, like, it's just you do what you want to do, and you throw it out there, but the people don't know the difference. Like we just like beer, man. Like everybody, most of the people that drink your beer just want to taste the beer and are fans of whatever you're gonna put out. So
it's still a good beer.
Right. So whatever you're like a bougie, you're in a bougie high level type of beer category. And the people that are drinking your beers are nowhere near the type of taster that you are. You know what I mean? So you don't like it, just throw it out there, man. Don't dump it. Don't ever dump a beer. Just let us
it was one of the down days. I was at a brewery and they were actually telling me that they had a batch of beer that it didn't come out like they wanted to, but they was like, we'll still put it on tap, and it sold out.
People love it. Yeah, and especially, and what's funny is it feels like if you tell a story behind, like, oh, I don't like the beer, it's probably your like one of your best sellers because people like, oh, you don't like it, but it's great. You know what I mean? Like it's just something. It's something about that part of marketing is a strange thing. Like the brewer doesn't like the beer, but he puts it out anyway, and it sells out.
I mean, it's like it's like that.
Kolsch pale ale. What's a Kolsch pale ale mix?
A Kolsch. He's slurring already, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I done drunk both.
I think you called it earlier a brick and mortar too. I caught that.
A brick and mortar is when you
brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar.
You said brick and mortar.
Thanks. I messed that all up.
Okay, it's all right.
What's that? 6.1 and 5.8. That's a lot of ABV.
ABV for
not really. I mean, it kind of balances out.
You're talking to me. You're talking to me. You're not talking to Kevin. You're talking to
me. That's funny.
That's funny.
Like more.
It's not my threshold. My threshold.
15.
I'm like, can I have a quarter of the 15, please? I don't need all that.
Nice.
That's funny.
So I know it's been a long time since you've connected with us. I mean, we're trying to do the same thing, man. Obviously, grow our brand, grow our followers, our listenership, doing as much as we can to get our name out. But the way that we do that is by supporting local brewers that we're meeting along our journey, along our way. So we do our best to try to extend our brand or what we do to the brewers. But I say this, once we've made that connection like we have with you, Smitty, don't hesitate to reach out to us and say, look, man, I got this going on and I want to come on and collaborate with you guys. We hey, look, we brothers. So anything you want to try to promote on this platform to get your name out there, to get what you're doing out there, we believe in you. We've tasted the goodness. We've tasted the goodness. We want to continue to taste the goodness. We have.
Devin says that I don't like it.
I don't know. I like the name of the beer. You should name one of your beers called The Goodness.
I don't know.
No. I'm with you. I mean, I like the goodness.
Yeah, good.
Look, it's almost like like the good news is like when you hear about the Bible. Beer is like the goodness. It tastes great.
Bible on the Sunday.
Mainstream tastes great, less filling. We gonna take the goodness. We have outside of our Sunday taping or podcast that we do a special can release piece that's called the Brew Drop, where when you have those special can releases, that's a limited thing or it's fresh off the shelf, it's something fresh and new that you have that's just about to drop or you want to promote it. We have, a segment dedicated to that, now that we've had you on twice, you're an honorary Brew Crew member, man.
Uh-oh. I'm crying.
Hey, don't cry. I'm not
crying. This is like third time.
If you cry, we're taking it back.
Let up, Milk.
Yeah, toughen up.
Say with your chest.
That's dope, man. Yeah, but definitely, man. It's I mean, I love to share the beers. People out of state, it's a little tougher because I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm lazy with shipping, so it's just kind of like. But it's
we'll just get your neighbors. We'll just get your neighbors to ship it for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
here's the beauty about craft beer and the phenomenon that we're in. Even though that people right now have resorted to shipping and to picking up and delivery, what you already know, like, I mean, we just had a woman on the last week's episode that really spoke to the black dollar and how much we spend in travel and things like that.
It's crazy, man.
We traveling, so it's not just about experiencing just the beer. It's about coming to where we go to where people are. We go to where it's happening. We go to where, and we can't wait to break out, which we already know. So, we can come to Dallas. We can come to Fort Worth. We can come to where these breweries are, and really, we want to be kind of in the experience, and that's what I think is so dope about Brew.
Yeah, definitely. And then
Allen, we'll also come to Allen County for you, bro.
Yeah, and then too, it's like once things get popping, man. Once my brewery gets open, Shannon Brewery gets open, you can go straight down 35, man, and hit Smittox, Urban Jungle, Weathered Souls,
right?
Make it a journey, man, and stuff like that. So so like we have brothers here doing some like real big things, So it's really just a
Texas beercation.
Right.
Yes, let's make it happen.
Right. Yeah. So it's just really it's not if, it's just a matter of when. It was unfortunate that Barrett couldn't get his joint up and rolling, but he's down in Costa Rica just killing the sours down there. So yeah. So I mean,
market now, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, man, if they didn't want to show him the love here, he went down there, and his beer game is just, he's always been that guy who knew like beer, he knew how to break stuff down, like me, I'm like the kind of guy who was young, who used to take his toys and just destroy them and put them back together. He was more or less, the kind of guy who just basically sat down and just learned it, and then instead of just saying, I think this goes here, it was just like he knew what goes where, but knows why it goes there. And so while he was here,
he one of them people that can build that as a kid could probably build a whole Lego universe.
It's like, so man, it's like, Mom, look, and a gun, it's like a gun. I built the whole country. So but he was just, I mean, and then being able to like pick his brain while he was here is just like, why did he really deep dive into the sours, and like, he was like, well, why not? Who else is doing that here in Dallas? So
nice.
Yo, you know what? I had a question. I don't even know if I asked this when we talked to you back in at the First Fest, but that logo that you had.
That shit's sick, ain't it?
Where did that come from? Like, as I look at it, I'm always like, because I got the sticker, and I always look at the sticker. Like,
I mean, if you grew up in like the 80s, where like that like came from, say.
It's like Paul Bunyan-ish.
Nah, man.
What is it?
So
I'm excited now.
All right,
I grew up in the 80s.
All right. So what was when like you like got when you got home from school, what did you watch first? You know what I'm saying?
What you talking about, like He-Man or something?
Right.
Yeah, like
Thundercat,
all that.
All right. So for me, it was like when I got home, there was always Transformers and G.I. Joe, right?
Okay.
So when you look at the logo, how many black people did they have on G.I. Joe? You know what I'm
saying? Not many, if any, none.
So they had so they had one guy who was always climbing rocks. I'm like, bro, there's no mountain, there's no goddamn mountains everywhere you go. but like yeah. So like my buddy Beeb, who does most of my artwork, he saw that picture. It came from one of those old like 70s 80s GI Joe little pictures, and so like he was like, what if we put you on like a mountain of hops with like a saying beat machine on like the back, and I was just like, man, like that's dope, man, because that's basically who I am, beer, music, beats, and it just fit,
in 80s cartoons. Your 80s cartoons.
And then it goes like the Smittox, like it definitely fits.
Right. So
a Smittox will be climbing a mountain.
Definitely would.
Smittox was in the wild. He'll be climbing.
Exactly. But no. It was just one of those things that like just fit, and then so like it was kind of like when I was trying to like think of a name for like the brewery, my buddy Jacob was like, look, what about Smittox? I was like, what does that mean? He was like, well, in Jersey, I mean, I call my best buddies Ox. It's like, hey, Big Ox. He said Smitty, Big Ox. I was just like, say because he wanted to do Big Smittox. I was like, the big part's kind of, but. But
big ox, big mid ox, yeah.
right. But like that just stuck, and like what I'm saying. So it was kind of like that's pretty much what I try to do around my beers. My beers try to reflect basically who I am. My traveling, where I've lived. My love of food, my love of music. You'll see a lot of my beers have some type of like hip hop reference. I mean, it's not like blatantly jacking like some people do, and because there's a lot of breweries who love hip hop music, and then there's a lot who just see that it's cool, and so I don't try to just go out there and find something that has some type of hip hop record name, or I try to dig into like the song. It's like, all right, where can I pull a piece from the song that somebody who really listens to hip hop music will be like, I know where you got that from, versus just saying, that's a song title from Wu-Tang Clan. We all know that. So right.
What's up?
All right. Any more questions for Smitty?
Hence you putting lyrics on your beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that means a lot. It's all about the
and it's like, if you grew up in like a certain era and you knew like, that guy there, it's just like he took on an entire crew, and my boys who I love just slaughtered the entire crew, and it's just like, man, like that's dope, man.
It brings out, it's like your culture too, like it's your part of history in hip hop. Like that was your hip hop experience that you bring in to the forefront, and to everybody who drinks your beer, they get a part of your youth and your experience through hip hop. That's dope. I like that.
Right. All right. Any more questions for Smitty of Smittox Brewing Company?
No,
man. This pineapple ale. This pineapple.
I need that.
Pineapple.
Yeah, I did say pineapple. I'm drunk as shit. I ain't never been drunk on a podcast. I ain't been drunk on a podcast since like week 3.
It's pineapple. It's pineapple ale.
Get that boy for some milk.
Pineapple milk.
Yo, first of all, I would have looked at the can and not even said pineapple, because it don't even look like pineapple's involved with the can.
Oh man,
it's delicious, man.
Oh my goodness.
Beer and water. Beer and water.
I'm gonna text you. I don't need no beer and water. I don't have nothing to do after this. I don't need no water. I don't need nothing. I don't have nothing to do after this. But yeah, I'm gonna text you later. I want more of this maple.
Yo, but you see how Smitty just try to plug that cup too. Put that cup back up that you got your water in.
So what's funny is like my job sends out these like cups every year. So I just rebrand them. You know what I'm saying? Look at that.
That's right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You see how his sticker got the prime spot though? You see how his sticker got it's just
I
mean, you know, they're all my stickers, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I like that.
That's
nice.
I see your Bruised and Banner one sticker. I see some stickers.
Definitely.
Definitely. So you can add that.
Yeah, boy.
Sticker on my cooler.
Yes.
Nice.
Send me some more of that pineapple.
Pineapple, huh?
Yo, stop saying that.
Stick with it.
Cut that boy off.
Just stick with it. I'm not
that's the
stop.
pecan.
That's the next.
Pecan.
That's the next brew.
Yep.
That's the next brew.
Pecan pineapple. That's
Pecan.
Nope, just pineapple.
Pecan glaze.
Pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan. It's pecan.
Oh man, no.
I like pecan.
So wait. Before this is over, man, do y'all put sugar on grits?
I do not put sugar on grits. Absolutely
not.
I do. I'm the only one.
I get pissed when people.
I'm fine with you doing it. It's okay. It's my preference. I'm doing it. Yeah.
It ain't no reason sugar should be on grits.
Cream and wheat.
I feel you. I feel what you're saying. You said cheese is fine. Cheese is fine.
Cheese is fine.
Cheese is
No
amazing.
sugar.
Cheese, salt, and pepper, right?
Grits,
Shrimp.
grits are savory, man. Savory.
If you eat grits in the evening, you want to put some shrimp on. I don't want no sugar in it. But if I'm just eating grits, if it's just plain grits, I want sugar in it.
You don't put eggs, sausage, or bacon to go with those grits, or it's just grits by itself.
No,
if it's grits by itself. If it's grits by itself during breakfast, if it's grits for breakfast, excuse me. If it's grits for breakfast, I want sugar.
Grits by itself, just straight grits.
No, never nobody.
Sugar. If the grits is in a bowl on its own. The grits is in a bowl on its own with sugar in it.
No, man.
On the side.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
take a poll. Viewers, listeners,
it's four
how do
against
you
one.
like your grits?
It's 4 against 1. Y'all win, but I'm never gonna just never put grit. I'm gonna always
put salt and pepper. You better put salt.
You ain't gonna do that shit in my house.
I'll clean it up.
Oh man, I'm crying over here.
You know, at Gilda's house.
Yeah, I don't want sugar on my grits if it's seafood or dinner time.
I don't want grits on at all. That's cream and wheat. Go eat cream and wheat.
I agree.
Exactly.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm not dissing this. Yeah, I just like it. Yeah, I agree. It's cream and wheat. Yeah, sure. I'll eat cream and wheat and grits with sugar. So what?
So what? Fight me.
No, I want it all.
It's Texas official treat. Pecan, but say is it pecan or is it pecan?
Yeah,
they do say it's not a pecan because where's the pecan at? Like I don't pee in no can. I think somebody said it. So that is pecan.
That's funny. Man.
Pecan. Well, do you pecan?
In the South,
I mean, no. I mean, I'm born and raised on the South. I mean, the deep South. So it's just like people say it both ways. It doesn't matter. Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, we all say it different, man.
Okay.
But I know what I say. Pecan, you know what I'm saying?
It sounds fancier. Pecan. Pecan sounds fancier than pecan. You got that pecan. Pecan.
Go with your chest. Yeah. You boys wild, man. Yeah. Appreciate it, though.
We don't care.
Yeah, but before we go, we always like to know how people can find you on social media, these World Wide Web. So how can they find more about Smittox Brewing Company?
Okay, yeah, definitely, man. If they're gonna, if you want to go to my site, like I said before, it's www.smittox.com. Excuse me, I'm just belching over here. Mm-hmm. If you go to like the gram, it's Smittox Brewing. On Facebook, it's Smittox Brewing Co. Co. So yeah.
All right.
But for the most part, if you just search Smittox Brewing, it's gonna pop up.
Yeah. A lot of articles. I think I did one day. There's a lot of articles. So he just wants you to see the articles.
Right.
And I'm trying, man. I'm trying. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's writing about it for sure.
I'm trying. So
that's what's up.
Smittox, so
congratulations, man, on all your success.
Appreciate Google me. Google me.
Yeah. Appreciate it,
yo,
guys.
where can they find you at, yo?
You can find me on Instagram at 302 Yoda and on Instagram and Facebook at Delaware on Grind. And check out Delaware on Grind, the podcast.
Check out the podcast.
That
hat is fire, son. That hat is fire.
Dev?
You can find me on Instagram at DevinAaron_the_great.
All right.
You underscores, man. It's tough, man.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of underscores, man. It's tough to find Devin.
Nobody gonna look for Dev. You're like, that's too many fucking underscores. I ain't doing that. You know it's hard to find an underscore on your phone. You be like,
Devin Aaron, and it'll all come up. That's all you got to do.
It's too much, bro. It's too much.
I'm famous already.
Where's my underscore out on my phone? I can't even find it.
I'm already famous.
Lou?
Oh man, Lou Belgium. I'm on them Instagrams.
Right.
Simple, huh?
That's
right.
it.
And you can find Brews and Banter Podcast at Brews and Banter Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can listen to the podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iHeartRadio, Pandora. You can even say Amazon. You can say Alexa, play Brews and Banter Podcast because we're on Amazon Music as well. We're everywhere. You can definitely check us out on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and smash that like button.
Yes, sir.
Smash. And if you want to support the podcast, you can always go to www.brewsandbanter.com and get this merch I got on right now. There you go, Brews and Banter. Even the pink one is on there if you love the Cameron.
Them 2004 Cameron feels.
Yeah.
Right though. And if you want to follow me, Rob Stay Bruising on IG. Once again, want to thank Smitty for coming on for episode 106.
Appreciate you, Smith.
Hey, man. Appreciate you guys for having me, man. This was fun, man.
Man, you're always welcome.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully we'll see you this year.
Yeah, for sure.
You
never know, man.
You
never know.
Everybody get that shot. I don't know now. Oh, I do want to say.
You changed your mind.
Girl,
wait, you can't leave.
You changed your mind.
Skip over it. You said you was getting a shot.
No. I am getting a shot, but I was watching this other show the other day, and I was like, I don't want the shot that gives you the virus. But then I learned that it's not actually the virus they give you. They give you the cold virus. That's just the application. And the lady was like, I don't know if I want that RNA one. I want the one that AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson to work on, which actually gives you the virus that you're familiar with. So it gives you I'm saying it's the vaccine that you're more familiar with. The technology that they're using there is more familiar than the RNA, huh?
Is Johnson & Johnson a one time, or is it?
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson the one time, but they still are. They haven't really checked out the scientists haven't checked out the efficacy yet. So by the time it gets to us, it'll probably be Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer. Probably all those will be out by the time it gets to us.
I don't think we get to choose though.
As your medical right, you can definitely go in there and see what they're giving you, and you be like, I'm out. I don't want that one. And go to the one that's giving you the one that you want.
You gave the finger vaccine, yo.
Yeah, you can definitely say, I need that Moderna one, or I need that Johnson & Johnson, and then you go to the one that you want.
So basically, what you're saying is wait until all these ones is out. The more, the merrier, so you could pick the one you like the best.
Exactly, and I think I'm now that I watched the show, I might be leaning toward Johnson. AstraZeneca's when they come out. Hopefully, they're just the same efficacy as the Moderna and the Pfizer.
So what happens if like they say, hey, you want this stimmy, right? You gotta go get that shot. It's just like
keep your stimmy.
I plan on getting one of the shots. So if you're gonna give me the stimmy on top of the shot, thank you.
We put it in the shot.
I don't know. That's fine.
I don't have a problem getting a shot. It's more about what shot I get now.
What if they put actual cash in the shot?
Yeah.
Excellence.
Object in the shot.
And the show I was watching, actually, they also said that it's more likely that this actually came from a lab, that people kind of clown. They said it's more like it came from a lab than somebody eating bats. So it was real crazy. I was like, oh, I'm rethinking everything I learned.
Because last week you was like, no Johnson & Johnson, but you was going to still take the vaccine.
But now that she put it that way, like the one that I know the science on more like RNA is the first time this has been put into people. So we still don't have all the data on how it's going to work. So now I'm like, I know how flu shots work.
I mean, but that was like the thing though. It's just like when they came up for these vaccines for like polio, smallpox, Spanish flu.
Right,
it was like, how do we know what works? It's like, I don't know. Let's just take these people. We'll give them one, and we'll just shoot up the whole area. And
50 years later, you figure out that this one works. We're going to give you this.
And I guess I gotta be the same way.
Coronavirus.
I guess I gotta be the same way I'm with technology. I don't want the old technology. I want new technology. So maybe I still might get the RNA. I don't know. Whenever my name is called, then I figure out which one. If they're all out, then maybe I will. But being 40 and pretty much healthy, we probably like September.
In the summertime.
They're looking at September.
September.
So it's not like September is where
you got some consistent exit in conditions that can get a test or get a shot early.
No, teachers can get early. So my wife probably will be shortly getting it. So she probably will get the Moderna or the Pfizer joint. So I can test out. I can see how it works on her. Like, how you feeling?
Man.
Like, nah, bro.
I'm just joking.
You're not.
You be like, nope, not getting that. Sorry, babe.
No. It would make more sense if your whole household got it. Like, it doesn't make any sense for you to get it and not your whole household. So it should be whole household.
I was listening to another podcast, and the guy was like, his wife got it, and like a week later, his wife got it. She was a nurse, and then a week later, he got it, and he was like, it doesn't. And he was saying that same thing. It's like, where it's just two of us in the house, like we both should get it. Why should I not get it?
It should be the household, because
I agree.
Frontline workers, it should be all front. If your household, because you could bring it home. You could bring it home because they still don't know if you can have it and still give it to people.
And still get it, right?
Yeah, right. Because the person that gets the vaccine could be fine, but they could still have it and give it to
Rob, like the flu shot. It's just like the flu shot doesn't stop you from getting the flu. It just lessens the symptoms.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
and
maybe I know something that's stupid.
Right.
It's
and
stupid
I just want to love COVID.
When it snows a lot, or it storms a lot, if a tornado came through this bitch right now, right, they would be like, "Oh, you got to work. You're an essential worker." But when it comes to the shot, I ain't essential for shit.
That's because you work at home. That's because you work from home. Isn't that because you work from home?
Yeah, no, because we ain't always work from home.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense at all.
I'm an essential worker, except for the shot.
I don't be able to work from home if you're not.
I'm wrapping up the show.
Yeah, you brought it up.
You sure never go ahead.
Listen, Kuumba don't want to talk about just his brewery. He want to talk about all stuff. He want.
It's funny. The reason they brought up that it would be it's in a lab that he was saying that they supercharged viruses. It started as nature, but they supercharged these viruses to see exactly how they will react, and it got accidentally out on somehow. And they saying the reason, like some people were saying that normally when they mutate, they get lesser and lesser potent. They were saying that this is acting differently and it's getting more potent.
Not with this one.
So that's saying they saying that is why.
Heard about the variants, the different variants.
The mutation. They saying the variants are getting stronger. And they're saying that is why they saying they believe it is in the lab and not.
And I say Mother Nature don't Mother Nature don't like humans, yo. Mother Nature.
They saying nature.
You had your chance and you ruined me.
Mother Nature years, yo. Like she's like it's about to be done.
So
nature.
My wife asked the question. I guess we're talking this, but how are COVID numbers in Texas getting it?
You know, Texas does things big, man. So
there you go.
So it's just like, man, when you live in a state where people just
they open.
Big, the food big, everything.
A lot of people feel like you're not going to tell me what to do, and so you're not going to make me wear a mask, and this ain't real. This is going to be done by the summer of blah 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 blah, and it's just like, it's just, that's just the mentality of certain people, and it's just like Texas is just one of those states, man, where I see that a lot, man, and it's just like you're not going to tell me how to live my life. It's just like, all right. Do what you do.
A lot of Karens here, but moving on.
Karens and Kyles.
Karens, Kyles, and Chad.
Take over Missouri's motto of the filmy state.
Dude, they are showing their ass, man, and it's just that, and it's scary that people still don't take this serious, man, and it's just like. I mean, even now where I'm trying to raise money for the ale brewery, I have to be careful of like what I'm actually doing as far as like, do I want to host an event? And if I do, how are we going to make sure everybody's spaced out? And so it's just like, man, that's just, yeah. Yeah, so it's wild, and and to say that we have some of the biggest cities in the nation here. We have 3 of the top 10 biggest cities, in the nation, and El Paso is one of those cities that's the numbers are just growing rampantly, and because there's a lot of I want to say it's really hitting the Latinos hard there, and as we saw recently in New York, where they designated a certain spot for people who were less fortunate, and the other people went and took all the shots. So
that's
now you're scared when you was talking shit a few months back. It was like, this ain't real. And I'm just like, man, y'all gotta get over yourselves, man. And
I really wish I could dress like an astronaut. I think that's what it's needed. I want the helmet, walking around with
Darth Vader
on my back. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Send me to the moon in my astronaut.
You got your earbuds in, niggas tapping on your glass.
Listen to music. Stop.
Ain't no COVID on the phone. So
go right on up there.
You're right. You would have said it. Ain't no Walmart or BJ's on the moon, though.
But look, I'll open that little travel pack of sealed food and eat it just like it was normal.
And Marie's on taste like market.
But I need a real mask. I ain't playing with this mess. I mean, I think I'm might be good for about 3 months or so.
Yeah,
they don't really know the science on it.
They saying these fabric masks ain't even holding up as much as now. You need to either wear a double or you need to wear the regular medical.
Yeah. The way to go, man.
They said the variant definitely is crazy.
When we first had COVID, that's all they said. They was like, the only mask you can wear is the KN95.
Everybody started bucking up on these different marketing schemes and
it's
business and everything. They not the mask, man. Like, get yourself a K95 or some of them masks that you see them doctors wearing on the ER and Grey's Anatomy. Get them
in Grey's Anatomy,
right? They the mask to get. Just wearing masks.
That's a trip, man.
Cloth. What are they? Come on, man. If you could, it was one of those things. If you could blow out a candle with your mask on, mask shit.
Or like the folks wearing the gaiters.
Yeah, they say that those are the worst. They say they were worse.
Right.
They say like, well, I just saw a guy wearing it. I wanted to get out and say that don't work, dummy. But
rest in peace. So yeah, man. It's it's.
Somebody said their doctor won't see you unless you got a KN95. KN95.
Yeah, that makes sense. He a doctor. He's seeing COVID patients.
Get your stupid ass out of here.
Get out of here.
They doing all this virtual stuff.
What if I got double mask on though? If I got double mask on,
Ooh,
that's if it's a double cloth, you may be able to blow through that.
No, I don't have double cloth. I got the one mask and then the cloth mask. So it's like,
you got to go in there, tape over your nose, tape over your mouth. You just dying for 30.
You're self-suffocate.
All right.
That's funny.
We was in this show.
Yeah.
Well, look, everybody obviously stay safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't believe in this conspiracy
Do your
theory
own
shit.
due diligence on taking the vaccine. If you don't decide that you don't want, make sure you make the decision that's right for you and your family.
That's what I say.
Yeah,
right. But don't shut down people from not taking a mask because they shut down in LA protesting. How can it's freedom of speech? I mean, it's freedoms. You want all, and ain't the same people that talk about freedoms and stuff like that. But you won't allow me. I want to take the vaccine. You don't got to take it. So move out my way.
You don't have to take it. Like they're not making it mandatory right now, so you don't have to take it. But you should be wearing your mask though, and you should stay away.
Bare minimum.
Stay away from me. Don't touch me.
And like even when this is over, man, stay 6 feet, man.
Yo, it's kind of like a bucket. Right? You always like,
like even when this is over, stay the hell away from me. All right, I don't want to.
You're too close, man. You're too close.
Can we keep them signs at the grocery store? Can we keep signs that say everywhere else that say keep your distance? Like, stay away from me, man.
The problem is Americans always had a personal space issue. Like we always want to be further and further apart. Now you made it mandatory with 6 feet. Now you're like, we good. Get away from me.
You good, son? Nah, bro. Come give me a hug. It's like, nah.
Be like, yo, your breath is too stank. Get the fuck.
COVID breath.
Yeah. All right. Once again, I want to thank Smitty from Smittox Brewing Co coming on.
Thanks, man.
This has been episode 106 of Brews and Banter Podcast. Until next time.
Until we meet again.
Have a good week, everyone.
Have a good week.
Oh, what you doing about that, boy? That was wild, man.
Hey,